Well, welcome to the 700 Club. The rules of engagement. Well, that's what both sides will be battling over today as the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump gets underway.
Even before the gavel strikes, the two sides are already going head-to-head over the ground rules. George Thomas has more on this historic day on Capitol Hill.
As the Senate takes up the articles of impeachment, both sides are set to battle over ground rules for the trial laid out by Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Those rules could see senators enduring grueling 12-hour-long sessions. McConnell wants to give each side 24 hours spread over 4 days for opening statements, with no guarantee that witnesses or new evidence would be allowed during the proceedings. Senators will then have 16 hours to question the prosecution and defense teams, followed by 4 hours of debate. Then a vote to decide if the trial should continue. McConnell's Democratic counterpart Chuck Schumer called the rules proposals a cover-up and rushed, and vowed to press for a vote on the Senate floor on the matter of permitting new witnesses and documents.
It's clear McConnell is hell-bent on making it much more difficult to get witnesses and documents, and intent on rushing the trial through.
And so now it goes over to the Senate, and all of a sudden, after a rigged process in the House, they're going to want to call for a fair trial and call for more witnesses because they didn't do their job in the House. It's not the Senate's job to mop up the mess of the House with this. It was a witch hunt clearly from the beginning.
House Democrats impeached the president last month on abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The president's defense team released a 110-page brief saying he did neither and that the charges against him do not constitute a crime or impeachable offense, calling on the Senate to reject the charges immediately and acquit the president.
The position is he didn't do any of these things, that he is innocent as a matter of fact.
The senators are set to begin debating the rules when the trial begins at 1 today. The president himself is not in Washington. He is at the Davos Economic Forum in Switzerland. George Thomas, CBN News.
Well, if you want to watch all the action, today's actions, it's going to start at 1 o'clock. You can download the CBN News app. We're going to have live coverage, gavel to gavel from the Senate floor. And if you want to watch, it'll all be on the CBN News Channel app, and there's all the different places, Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Play, Apple TV, where you can watch it. It can be on a tablet, a smartphone, or a smart TV, and you can be a witness to what is happening here. This is history in the making. In other news, there's one group of lawmakers who would greatly benefit from a shorter impeachment trial: the senators who are running for the Democratic nomination for president. John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That's right, Gordon. The trial is limiting the candidates' campaign time less than 2 weeks before the Iowa caucuses. Senators Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Michael Bennet have been storming the Hawkeye state in recent days. Now they're compelled to stay in Washington, D.C., at least for when the trial is in session, and they're even forbidden from using electronic devices on the Senate floor.
We've had to, needless to say, jiggle our schedule very significantly. Because I'm going to be spending a whole lot of time in D.C.
Polls show Joe Biden leading in Iowa with Warren close behind and Sanders and Klobuchar within striking distance. A day of peaceful protest at a gun rights rally in Richmond, Virginia Monday. Authorities feared violence with thousands of armed protesters, some of them reportedly associated with radical groups, descending on the city. Officials banned weapons on Capitol grounds. Those who did go inside passed through metal detectors and strict security. The high turnout due to gun control legislation proposed in the Democrat-controlled legislature.
You're not going to prevent drunk drivers by punishing sober drivers, and unfortunately that's what Richmond is trying to do.
Guns are in our veins in America. You can't just snatch these from us and think that we're not going to be, offended or do something about it.
Officials estimate 20,000 people attended the rally. Only one person was arrested, a protester who refused to take off a mask. In China, the head of a government expert team says that human-to-human transmission has been confirmed in the outbreak of a new coronavirus. That raises the possibility that the virus could spread more quickly and widely. Face masks are becoming increasingly commonplace in parts of China. 6 people have died and nearly 300 have been infected there. Initial symptoms of the new coronavirus include fever, cough, tightness of the chest, and shortness of breath. The coronavirus family includes a variety of illnesses ranging from the common cold to other illnesses like SARS or severe acute respiratory syndrome.